Madison County leaders say they're optimistic with the current trends and they're hopeful that the mask ordinance continues to do the job it's supposed to do. Our Kayla Carlisle has the latest.
This week, Madison County health officials are commending local hospitals and first responders on their continued hard work. Dr. Pam Hudson with Crestwood Hospital says the virus is seemingly becoming more maintainable. She says patients' chances of being in the intensive care unit and eventually being put on a ventilator have now been reduced by half, meaning the current medications being used are working to slow down the virus.
Not as many people are getting very, very badly ill because they're using the remdesivir and the dexamethasone earlier in the course of care.
Right now, there are 121 inpatients in Madison County hospitals. 36 of those are in ICU and 22 are on ventilators. Huntsville Mayor Tommy Battle credits the community with abiding by the mask ordinance.
Our community is taking this very seriously. You see people wearing masks on a regular basis. We're staying separated. We're staying sanitized. We're trying to make sure that we do the best we can with through this situation, and we have a smart population who is following through with what we need to do.
Madison County continues to set the example across Alabama, and with schools coming back into session, the need to reduce the spread is at an all-time high. Dr. Hudson says that parents and teachers must work together in order to help the schools stay in session.
What we're trying to do is to keep the transmission rate low enough so that it makes sense when we identify a case, somebody who may have contracted it at home and they're in the school system and perhaps they have close contact with other people, to be able to do that contact tracing so that you're not having to say, oh, there's a case, got to close schools.
Putting the Valley first, I'm Kayla Carlisle, WZDX News.